Hey, it's Tori from Goody Beads, and I am here with Candie Cooper.
Hey, Tori.
Hey, Candie.
Hey, everybody out there.
Today, we're going to play with some memory wire.
One of the most easy materials to make jewelry with, so I can't wait to see what
it is one of my favorite materials to play with because it is so easy, and you don't need a lot of stuff. You have your memory wire. You do need a good memory wire cutters.
The old...
Make sure you have a memory wire cutters because you don't want to use your regular cutters because nothing ruins a regular cutter faster than trying to cut memory wire.
And all of us that have done it are just like, as soon as you do it, you're like, no!
To get a big dent in it.
Yeah.
And then one of my other favorite tools is actually the memory wire finishing pliers from Beadalon. You can use a round nose pliers, but I really prefer this pliers because it gives you, with the shorter nose, it gives you a little bit more strength.
A little more torque on that baby.
Yeah, to be able to get your curls ended.
What are these orange bands, Tori?
Oh, these are bands to let me know that these are my tools.
I didn't. She didn't know I was going to ask that question, but I'm like, what are these?
So
where'd you get these?
They're tool identifiers. You know, that's a really good question. I actually don't remember.
That's
I think
genius.
they came in
I think Goody Beads needs
Yeah, I think we'll get some of those.
Because when you do start sharing tools, it is like, are those, I always put marker, name, ribbon, but yeah.
Yeah, so a little way to identify your tools. Yeah, so these are all mine. I'm just kidding. We share well. But all right, so today we're going to talk about putting leather on memory wire because that's one of our favorite things to do here at Goody Beads, or maybe it's just one of my favorite things to do, so kind of becomes Goody Beads' favorite thing to do.
I love it, and it's something, believe it or not, in all my years I've never done this before, so I can't wait to see your tricks because this is one of your signature Tory moves.
It is really, and the main thing is that there's really only a few kinds of leather you can use, and so that's kind of the important thing here. So I'm going to show you guys those. So there's 3 different kinds of leather we're going to talk about. One is just a basic braided leather, and the way they braid it, it leaves a hole in the middle, so it's actually hollow, so then you can get the memory wire through. The other is a braided that they braid around a rubber core, and then the rubber core is also hollow, so you can get your memory wire through. And then we have this Portuguese cord that was specially made that also has a hole in it, so you can get your
specially made for you.
Yes, for Goody Beads.
That's amazing.
Yep. So this now also has the hole that you can easily get your memory wire through. So make sure if you're doing this, you're checking to make sure it's either hollow, has a hollow cord, or is the Portuguese cord with a hole.
And you have a lot of projects on your website that use this technique with the product.
We absolutely do. And we have some great kits too if you want to try it but aren't really sure yet. We have some wonderful kits that use this technique as well.
And you get everything you need, so it's like the puzzle is ready to go.
So so there are, one thing to note is there are some braided cords that have like cotton cord in the middle. Those you can't use because it's really hard to get the cotton core out. So just make sure you're reading, and if somebody else doesn't have it listed, we have it listed on our website. Just ask them. So there we have it. And then to talk about a couple other things, I really like to do triple wrap bracelets. It's one of the things I like to do, but I also love this look in just a single wrap.
Yes.
Or you can even just do an all leather bracelet, which is a little more difficult because you're putting more leather around, but it can be done, obviously. So
now, are you using the extra strong memory wire? This feels really strong.
That is a great question. We are using the heavy duty memory wire from Beadalon.
Little thicker gauge.
Yeah, it's a thicker gauge, so it holds the leather. It seems if you use the regular memory wire with the leather tends to kind of stretch it out a little bit, and it doesn't hold its shape as well.
Okay, so that's important because I was like, man, that thing's strong, and then I remembered. Okay,
you are correct. So so the heavy gauge memory wire. So today Candie is gonna play with the Portuguese.
I just want to like put those patina paints and
that would be so fun.
Hand paint this. This has a great surface, you guys. You can totally take this to your own customization level.
And I'm gonna use this 5mm braided from Leather Cord USA. And I'm going to cut mine into 3-inch pieces. Are you going to got yours, or are you going to make a full bracelet? What are you thinking there, Candie Cooper?
I don't know yet. Well, it's tempting just to make one band because I like, I got a lot going on here. But I think I am going to chop it down a little bit and put some beads on it. You gave me some really pretty Dakota stones.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that looks great together.
And then the other thing I'm going to tell you is, especially when you're using the braided cord, make sure you're using a really nice leather cutter, because the braided leather can start to fray a little bit, and if you're using a nicer cutter, that's going to prevent it from fraying.
I've used these before, guys. These are spring loaded.
Yes.
Keep them away from toddlers. Like,
yes.
These are really, they look like fun until you leave them in the wrong place. So these are literally very sharp, but they work like a charm.
Yeah.
You're gonna love, like, you'll never be able to go back to cutting leather strands with just your cutters.
Yeah.
Because you just get that smooth, quick chop.
And they come out so even and so clean.
So flush.
Yes. Yeah, I've taught a lot of classes with these, and I always warn people to not put their fingers in there, and everybody's like, does anybody ever do? And I was like, no, because I warned them not to, but you could see how easily you could get a finger in there.
They're sharp.
They are
and
sharp.
And they're kind of like you're just sitting around talking, like flipping this thing around. It's like,
exactly.
It's all fun until you lose a finger.
That's right. And then how many coils would you like?
A bunch.
A bunch?
3. 3's usually my...
There you go.
3. I feel like if you're making a layering bracelet.
Yes, I like to do 3 as well. Okay. And I always give myself extra memory wire in case I need to start again. That's sort of my little thing there. So I'm going to show you guys how to get, especially this braided leather on. The Portuguese leather is a little bit easier to get on because it doesn't have anything the leather can catch on, where in the braided, sometimes the memory wire can catch on something on the inside. So the first thing I like to do is sort of bend it.
Give it a little curve.
Yeah, give it a little curve so that it's going to match the curve of the memory wire.
This is amazing. Look how that, like...
I know, just slides on.
I've never done this before in my life, and that was crazy.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I'm going to put on a end cap first, and this is an end cap that'll fit 5mm leather. So I'm going to slide my end cap on, and then I'm going to slide my leather on. And you just kind of keep the curve and slowly, I'm going to flip it over there, slowly slide it on. And then once I get it on, I'm going to put it in my end cap. And I kind of squeeze the leather and I twist my end cap onto it. And people always ask, do you need to put glue in there? You know, I've never had to use glue, and I've never had one fall out, especially if you can get your memory wire ends tight enough. You should not need glue.
These have a nice depth to them too, so you can smush it down in.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to do the other one. So you slide on your other end cap. Get in there. Again, I just kind of squeeze my leather with my fingernails a little bit. And then I sort of twist this end cap on. Where Candie's, because it's that smooth leather, she can kind of just push hers on.
Yeah, I totally that was so easy.
And then I typically, when I'm designing my bracelets like this, I typically work in 2.5 to 3 inch increments. So I'll usually kind of lay my beads out to get either an 8 or 9 inch circumference for the bracelet. So I tend to kind of go 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. So I usually cut my leather at 3 inches, where this one is all the way around. You'll see that. That's 9 inches. So I just went 9 inches all the way around on that one.
That's smart, Tori. Unlike me, that's just over here going rogue. I just cut mine into a bunch of macaroni-sized pieces.
I love that you go rogue.
I just like, well, this is fun. And that's the other dangerous thing about that leather chopper. It's like, oh, that was so easy. Let's do it again.
Let's do some more. So then I'm just going to string on some of my beads. I already kind of measured out some increments. And since I've been working with some of these a while, I kind of know what things to put together to make 3 inches. So I'm going to use some lovely Dakota stones because I love the look of the leather and the stones together.
Oh, come on. It's like a staple for like bohemian designs,
right?
These things. And they also add to the nice weight.
Yes.
That's the other thing. If you're stringing gemstones or anything heavy, this stainless heavy-duty memory wire is good for that. Because sometimes when you get so much weight on the original memory wire, it's like flopping. And
yeah, it doesn't hold its shape very well.
I love this.
And then I also really like using curved beads on the memory wire as well. So I'm going to use this one, but you can also use these 50 mil smooth. They work really well on it as well.
You know, I think this is like, if you're creating a collection, you really can get whatever look that you want, right? So
absolutely.
You can have smooth and smoother. If you want that more rustic, you can use the braid and these textured beads. These, I think, are so neat.
Yeah, I love those beads. I love the
pattern on these.
The Bali tube beads, yep.
So good.
And so now I have one ring, and I would just kind of keep going. Typically, I sort of change up the order of my 3 little sections. but I'm going to show you how to finish. So I'm going to take the memory wire finishing pliers, and I like to keep the memory wire as close to the, I don't know, the bottom of the base of the pliers, and then you just stick it in there and then you roll it.
And it's important you want to work as close as you can to the handle end of the pliers. That way you're getting as much torque on that as you can. You don't want to work out at the tips because that can sometimes mar your pliers a little bit. So definitely stay at the base of the...
Absolutely. And I tend to move my pliers and not necessarily the wire. So I'm kind of going in this motion to curl. So I'm creating a little curl, and then you don't have to just curl it once. You don't need one perfect curl. You can keep curling it as many times as you want. So I typically do kind of 1.5 curls to start with, and
then kind of a split key ring look.
And then when I kind of finish up my other end, I don't feel like I have to cut it perfectly to get that single ring. I can keep curling it at the end to get a nice perfect tightness on it.
I love that.
How are you coming over there?
I am like having the best time of my life over here. I'm like, well, this
it.
is amazing. And so, like, I just can't get over how easy it is. Like, I had no idea.
That's looking awesome.
Thank you. I think I'm good with mine. I'm going to slide this. I love these little 6mm bell caps that you've got set up for us, because I'll just show you, they fit like perfectly over the Portuguese leather. You don't have to, like, Tori was over there trying to feed in her ends. These just literally slide over there. Right? I mean, perfect.
Absolutely.
So that gives you a really nice finished end to your cut leather too. It just hides the, you know, non-dyed leather.
And with the Portuguese, you don't really need an end cap on every end, but with the braided, I would say you do need the end cap. Otherwise, it's gonna fray.
Totally.
So, and then we do also have some suede that has a rubber cord in the middle that works great as well. That's really fun. I think we have some animal prints in that, which is pretty exciting. So there's just a bunch of different ways to play with it. Animal prints
are always in.
Absolutely.
This is so fun. I can't get over this. Okay, so back to the old memory wire shears. And I mean, you could really, like, if you want to finish it in a little bit fancier, you could always string one more bead on after.
Oh, absolutely.
If you wanted to kind of change up the coloring.
And then it's always fun. I actually don't have an example, but on the end of your curls, it's always fun to add a charm or some tassels or chain or something like that to give it kind of a fun jingle jingle at the end. I can't believe I don't have one that has it on it. So unlike me.
That's why we're friends. I'm like, what happened to the tassels?
Where are the tassels, Tori?
I love those 3 beads at the end. So that just kind of changes up the variety. Let me give you a little bit different look. And I'm just rolling against, sorry, I was over here in bead la la land. I'm just
beading away.
Rolling against the curve. Okay. And I always like kind of push down while I roll. And I use the bigger side of the pliers too, and try to tuck that end down and give it a little pressure. This is a great little bangle.
I love that.
Thanks.
So cute.
I can't wait to get the patina paints on this line.
I think that's a great idea.
Perfect.
I'll put one more.
Done and done. I even like it kind of twists.
Whoop! There goes some beads. Rolling beads.
Like sweeping up the, like, I work in the kitchen, I work in the studio, everybody knows, don't not look in the dustbin.
You gotta look for those beads.
Could be some good stuff in there.
That is right. So I'm just gonna throw one more end cap on here, and then I'm gonna trim. I'm just gonna make mine a double.
I just can't get over how strong these are too. Man. Those look cute.
I gave myself plenty of extra.
So you strung a lot of beads in that little time, miss.
I have some practice. We're gonna trim.
Another fun and fast project.
That's right.
From Goody Beads.
That's right. And then we're just gonna curl.
Do you push down while you curl?
I do.
Just to kind of keep that.
I didn't even really think about it until you said that, but I do. And then I'm just gonna keep curling.
Coiling and curling.
So you can see there's kind of a double coil there. And then I might actually go back to my other side to make them a little bit even and curl that one up a little bit too.
Yeah, shore them up a little.
And then you can get them nice and tight.
I love that coiled loop though, because then if you add a jump ring or something, you've got a little thickness to it, and it's not you're not going to lose whatever you do decide to hang off of there.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Candie. This was so fun.
That was really fun, Tori.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, have fun with Memory Wire at home, guys. We'll see you soon.